Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Books, Gurrs, and Purrs. Today we're going to be discussing my Winter 2023 TBR. Alright, so that's going to be the month of January and February. December just finished in 2022. I'm not going to discuss 2023 because that's going to be a little bit of a free-for-all. So I'm not really sure what's happening just for that 1 month. Alright. So the month of January, I'm going to be reading 2 books by Fajardo-Anstine. And the first book is Sabrina and Karina, which is their short story collection. And on the back of the book it says a little bit of a reference to the short stories. In sugar babies, lineage and heritage are hidden inside the earth but rise during land disputes. Any further west follows a sex worker and her daughter as they leave their ancestral home in southern Colorado, only to discover a foreign and hostile land in California. And in Sabrina and Karina, a Denver family falls into a cycle of violence against women, coming together only through ritual. So this is their first literary work published, which is short stories, so I look forward to reading that. And their first full-length debut novel, I think that's how I say it, is Woman of Light. I bought this towards the end of 2022. I'm trying to remember. I think I bought it from Skylight Books in Los Feliz. Yeah, I think so. I think it was like their last copy that I could find. So I was glad I picked it up. And on the inside it says, Luz Little Light Lopez, a tea leaf feeder and laundress, is left to fend for herself after her older brother Diego, a snake charmer and a factory worker, is run out of town by a violent white mob. As Luz navigates 1930s Denver, she begins to have visions that transport her to her indigenous homeland in the nearby Lost Territory. Luz recollects her ancestors' origins, how her family flourished, and how they were treated. She bears witness to the sinister forces that have devastated her people and their homeland for generations. In the end, it is up to Luz to save her family stories from disappearing into oblivion. So both those works, the short story and novel, sound like I'm gonna love them, and so it's a great way to kick off January for myself. And February, I am gonna focus on one author, but what I'm also gonna do is focus on books that are referenced to one of the author's works. And so that author is James Baldwin, and I'll be reading If Beale Street, I can't even say that right, If Beale Street Could Talk. This was adapted into a movie. I haven't seen it yet. For the only reason is because I haven't read this yet, and this was a book that I wanted to get to. So I'm hoping in the month of February that I will also see the movie when I'm done with this. And so on the back it says, in this honest and stunning novel, James Baldwin has given America a moving story of love in the face of injustice, told through the eyes of Tish, a 19-year-old girl in love with Fonny, a young sculptor who is the father of her child. Baldwin's story mixes the sweet and the sad. Tish and Fonny have pledged to get married, but Fonny is falsely accused of a terrible crime and imprisoned. Their families set out to clear his name, and as they face an uncertain future, the young lovers experience a kaleidoscope of emotions. So I can't wait to read this, and considering that I have several other books to read for the month of February, I feel confident that I'm going to get through this book. It's not even 200 pages. So the next one is The Fire Next Time. It's very short. Yeah, it's 106 pages. I've read this before. It's just been a while, so I want to go back and read it again. These are 2 letters that the author wrote. I'm trying to remember if it was to his son or... I can't remember, but I thought I would say on the back, but I don't see it. Anyway, so these are 2 letters written on the occasion of the centennial of the Emancipation Proclamation that exhort Americans, both black and white, to attack the terrible legacy of racism. Again, I've read this before. I want to just refresh my memory about the specifics of what James Baldwin says here, because of all the other work that I'm reading is going to be in reference to this work. So I'll put that aside. The third book is The Fire This Time, and this is edited by Jesmyn Ward, and these are just various writers writing, almost like, I think like essays, if I remember correctly. I'll just read you the back. It says, in this groundbreaking New York Times best-selling anthology of essays and poems on race in America, Jesmyn Ward brings together the most important voices of a new generation. More than 50 years ago, James Baldwin wrote in The Fire Next Time that the country is celebrating 100 years of freedom, 100 years too soon. Now, responding to both Baldwin's words and the new tragedies of our day, 18 influential thinkers wrestle with the past, present, and future of American race relations and the Black experience. I'm trying to think. I picked up this book in Washington State when I was at a bookstore with a friend, but I cannot remember the bookstore's name, but if I can, I'll write it below. It's been a while. But this is one of those books that's been sitting on my shelf collecting dust, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to read this. And the last book for February is This is the Fire by Don Lemon. He's a reporter on CNN, and in this book he writes a letter to his nephew, I believe. And on the inside of the sleeve it says, beginning with a letter to one of his Black nephews, Lemon proceeds with reporting and reflecting on his slave ancestors, his upbringing, and the shadows of segregation, the racism inherent in our culture's message, from movies to monuments, and the power of economics to uphold or help overthrow racism. And it kind of goes on from there. I think this is probably the most lengthy of the books, I think. But again, it's only like 205 pages, so I feel like all those books are manageable in the month of February. So in the month of February, I usually join a readathon event. This year, I'm not going to, just because I'm still tackling quite a few books that particular month, and I think that's all I could really handle. I'm still going to go ahead and add links below if I happen to know anybody that's floating around that I see is hosting readathon events. I know every year Bow Ties and Books YouTube channel has a readathon event, so I'll include that. So that is actually finishing up the winter season. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6 books, and I'm excited because I feel like it's a variety of fiction and nonfiction, short stories, essays. So that's so cool. I'm really excited. I'm gonna get through them, guys. Cross your fingers for me, but I really think it's gonna be manageable. So if you're watching this channel, thank you. I hope your year goes well. Like, subscribe, Let me know what you think below if you've read any of these books, because I have not read any of them except for, oh my gosh, I already forgot the name. The Fire Next Time. Yeah, and let me know what you're reading. All right, everyone. I'll see you later.